Hello, it's Alex Goodall here from Internet Professionals, and I'm going to give you in this video an overview of WP Social Traffic, a new plugin for getting traffic to your website via Facebook. And I've used this product. I've given it a little test, very small test, but enough to convince me that it's certainly worth giving serious consideration to. Here is the sales page. In fact, I'm doing this before the sales page is live. I think this is a demo of the sales page, but I think it's going to look like this. But the first thing is you've got to sit through, or you can choose to sit through a video of Todd Gross promoting the product and suggesting how really easy it is to get traffic. It's 100% free traffic, which is true, from Facebook, which is true in just one click, which isn't true. I mean, finally you do one click, but you've got to do a lot of work beforehand. So there is more work to do than Todd suggests. The traffic is valid traffic from, well, wherever the visitors are on Facebook, USA, UK, France, Australia, etc. So I've got no argument with any of that. Real visitors, yes. On complete autopilot, no, it's not complete autopilot. However, the point is that if you're going to be posting to if you've got a blog and you're going to be posting to your blog, then with a little bit of extra work on each blog post, not a huge amount of extra work, there's work to set the whole thing up, but with a little bit of extra work on each blog post, you can get a lot more traffic from Facebook. So I think this is definitely a worthwhile addition to your traffic strategy. So let me go through and give you, show you exactly what I've used. Exactly what my setup was and the amount of extra traffic I got. I will warn you, it is nothing like the amount of traffic, extra traffic shown in the case study. Of course, they've had to create a good-looking case study. I can believe that amount of traffic is possible with enough blog posts that you promote fairly quickly in succession, and you can get traffic up to that level. So I wouldn't dismiss this as hype. There is probably more work to do to get that amount of traffic than is suggested, but that's always the case. You know how these things work. The ultimate question is, does the technology work, and does it actually create extra traffic? And the answer from my experience is definitely yes. And let me show you exactly what I did to get that traffic and how much I got. So first of all, this is the site that I'm using. So this is a website that I built for a client. It's about curing migraines. By the way, if you or someone you know suffers from migraines, this little pitch for the product now, $14.95. It's a really interesting vocal technique that my client discovered, and there's clinical trials going on at Oxford University, that have suggested that 8 out of 7 people get the migraines cured by using this. So, a little pitch there. He's got a very small budget promoting this, so there's, I haven't done a lot of work, and I can't. He can't afford to pay me to spend a lot of time on it. So I'm looking for ways which I can set things up and get automated traffic. And I've done a little bit on Twitter. I'm now starting to look at Facebook, and just as I started to look at Facebook, this plugin came along, so I thought, well, I'll give it a go. So this site has got currently only one blog post on it. Let's take a look at that. There it is. Well, let's actually look at the main post itself. So that's the blog post. It's got one video of Jamie giving a testimonial. So that's what I'm going to use as the main sort of promotional tool. And you can see I actually posted this on 19th of October a while back. So it's been sitting there, and I'm just going to do something with that old blog post. So now I'm in the back end of the website, and I've installed WP Social Traffic, and I'm in the settings page, settings area for that. The first thing you have to do is you have to connect it up to a Facebook app. There's a little bit involved in doing that, but the instructions are very straightforward, and there's a PDF that you can download as well. So without too much difficulty, I set that up. And you have to set up a cron job in cPanel. Again, if you're not used to that, don't worry, it is pretty straightforward. Then you have to find pages. So in summary, the way the system works is that it posts comments to Facebook pages within your niche. Now, the reason it posts comments as opposed to main posts is because most public pages don't allow you to post directly, but you can post comments. So it finds popular posts on the pages and then adds a comment. It's fairly straightforward, but it works quite well. So the first thing you do is you select your keyword. I only put one keyword in. I couldn't think of any reason to put any other keywords in, and it comes back with a whole collection of appropriate pages. Notice, see that it's found 515 pages. Now, I think within this particular niche, I was surprised to find there aren't that many high traffic pages or pages with lots of likes and being talked about on migraine. I was actually quite surprised by that. Even though there's 515 of them, the vast majority are inactive pages and don't have much going on. The recommendation is to find 50 pages that the system uses, and I did find 50 pages. It takes a while, so that's one of the things that takes time. You've got to select the pages. Ideally, you go to look at each page to see whether it's relevant. Most of the pages actually were relevant. There is a band, I think, called migraine, so there's a few little things you can trip over, so I do recommend you look at each page before selecting it. So I spent time selecting the pages. The other thing actually which I found took more time is the comments. So what it does is that when it finds a page and an appropriate post, it posts a comment onto that page, and you can add as many sample comments as you want. So you can add comment, and you can use spin tags in the text of the comment. It comes by default with about 19, 20 example comments, but as they recommend, if a lot of people are going to be using this plugin, you don't want your comments to look like everybody else's. So the recommendation is to tailor them and make them relevant to your product or niche and so on. So this actually took quite a lot of time. I spent quite a bit of time creating these, and I ended up with 11 of them comments with lots of spin tags in. And I'm fairly pleased with the result of that, so I was happy with that. So that another thing that takes up a reasonable amount of time. But that's all. This is all once-off setup. So once you've done that, you only ever need to do that once. Then there's a certain amount of work to do for each blog post, and I'll show you what I did for my particular blog post. Okay, so here I am on the blog post that I used. I'm now in the edit mode for that, and once you've installed the plugin, you get this extra piece of functionality on the edit page, and it allows you to customize your blog post. So what it's going to post is, by default, it's going to use the featured image. You can change that if you want, and it will give you a custom a default message, a default title, and no description, but you can add that yourself. So actually, for each blog post, there isn't a huge amount of work to do. You might want to adjust the message and the title, might want to add a little bit of a description, and actually that's it. So to that extent, for each blog post, there's 2 or 3 minutes work to do, and then hit the button, get me traffic. So to some extent, Todd Gross's hyping isn't that hyped up. You've got to do the once-off setup. Then for each blog post, you've got to just basically do 2 minutes work and click get me traffic. So the point is, if you're already creating a blog post, or if you've already got blog posts that you've already set up, then there is no reason, or really, not to get a lot of extra traffic by posting it on loads of different Facebook pages. And that's it, really. The only other thing to show you is how much traffic I got from this. So I did this last night, or yesterday afternoon, so it hasn't been up that long. And let me show you the traffic I got from it. Okay, so finally here is the results of using the WP Social Traffic plugin. So you can see this is my Google Analytics, and this is the Migraine Band website. This is the what I call the operational view. So those of you who know a little bit about Google Analytics, one of the first things you should do is set up a view that excludes any clicks from your IP address, which is what my operational view does. So this definitely doesn't include any of my visits to the website, which is important. And you can see that this is over the last 30 days. It's been getting very little traffic. I've been trying to get traffic from Twitter. Actually, we started around here for the Twitter, and it's been sort of up and down. I've been a little bit disappointed. I needed to do some refinements to that, because I'm sure I could do a lot better than it's currently doing. And that the Twitter traffic is at the moment pretty much autopilot. I've just got automated posts going out and so on. But I'm a bit disappointed with the results, as you can see. But I'm sure that there's more I can do to refine that. However, I installed WP Social on the 4th of October, yesterday, and there you can see it's suddenly shot up the traffic. Now, it's not huge amounts, it's only 21 sessions, but this is less than 24 hours, so 2 or 3 mitigating circumstances. It's less than 24 hours. The number of Facebook pages I could find for this niche with high amounts of traffic was only about, well, actually 3 or 4 that had really good amounts of likes, of visitors. Ideally, you need 50, and I think at least half of those should be high traffic sites. So the niche, somewhat surprising I have to say, the niche doesn't have that many places. This particular niche didn't have that many places where I can post to. Maybe I could have been a bit cleverer in looking for the pages, and I only just put in that one keyword. So again, as with all these things, you need to experiment and try. So maybe I can do a little bit better by finding more pages with more keywords. The other thing is that I just had that one post, whereas if you've got 10, 20, 30 posts that you've got, then you could promote those one after the other. I wouldn't do them all in one day, but one after another, and promote those, and then your traffic will go up very significantly. So not a massive result, but for me, compared to what I was getting from Twitter, that's pretty good. And so, as always with these things, you're never going to get as good results as the case study, or you're unlikely to. But you've got to test, you've got to tweak, you've got to refine, and you've just got to keep at it. So, to my way of thinking, if you're going to be posting posts to your blog, then for a once-off cost of getting this plugin, a little bit of setting up, even if it takes you a couple of hours to do the initial setup, that's fine. And then it's going to take you maybe 5 minutes at most, probably less, for each blog post that you put up, to get a whole bunch of extra traffic from Facebook. Oh, the other thing I would say about this is that I've found that Google Analytics can significantly underreport the amount of traffic. So although this traffic on Twitter looks very low, when I compare it with the traffic that I was getting by measuring the clicks on the links that I put in the tweets, it was significantly higher. So I suspect the number of visitors I actually got was significantly more than those 21 there on that day. Okay, I hope that's been helpful to you. I think it's a nice little plugin that will help increase the volume of traffic you get to your site. Thanks for your time.